Hello, divine beings. I'm Ishwa Bodhi. I'm out here in beautiful nature, beautiful forest, sitting over here by the stream, and just connecting to nature and connecting to the source of creation. See, we really are multidimensional beings, spiritual beings, having a human experience. Now, people always hear that, but what does it really mean? Well, you have to connect with that inner self, the soul, the Atman. And, when you start doing that, you start to go within, and you start to go through your spiritual metamorphosis, you start to realize that truth, that you are a multi-dimensional being. We are capable of so much more than we actually know. People of ancient times, there were cultures and types of civilizations that existed that were very connected to this spiritual truth. And they were able to do these amazing things because they understood it. See? Their third eyes were open. And when you start going through your spiritual metamorphosis and opening your third eye, you'll start to see that you're capable of things. Understanding, a knowing comes to you. And abilities such as telepathy and astral projection are possible. And I'd like to share with you one of my own experiences. So, this is about going deeper. This is about telepathy and astral projection. This is Mystic Metamorphosis. I was in a relationship with this woman. We'll call her Lily. And it was fun when we started out. This is when I was a lot younger. We had a lot of fun together. And I got her into meditation. And we would always be hiking and meditating. It's possible this woman was a twin flame of mine, or my twin flame, but I don't like to get lost in that concept of twin flame, and a lot of talk about it in the spiritual community, but I think certain things, certain spiritual ideas and certain spiritual thoughts are true. I don't believe that they're not true, but sometimes people get caught up in them. Like even the idea of enlightenment or moksha, and feeling, well, I'm going to get to this place called enlightenment. And then almost like by thinking of it, it almost keeps you from getting to that place. So I really don't like to think about those things, in a sense. But yeah, we had a connection, a spiritual connection that developed, me and this woman, who I'm no longer with. This is when I was younger, in like my early 20s. And we would meditate together, and we attempted telepathy. And how we did this was we would do something called the color game, where one of us would think of a color, and the other one, she would sit in front of me, and we would sit there, and one of us would be thinking of a color, and we would touch our third eyes. And, we would be like, well, I'm going to send the color, and the other one would be the receiver, or vice versa. So one of us would think of the color, and then the other one would start to see the color that the other one was sending. And this started to open up a connection between us. And it became something we could do all the time. We started to just connect with this color game that we would play. And it happened all the time. It would work all the time. And I began to, within myself, distinguish between the mind of this world and my other mind, which is my eternal self, my eternal mind. And we were able to connect like that. We could connect to each other. And so I remember we went out to the river, and we went out to this river one time, and there was like this little island in the center of the river. And we had made love on the island. And afterwards, we began to meditate. And I was sitting there on the little island in the river. And like I'm talking, it was like really small. It was like a small little, I guess I would call it an island. And I was sitting there on a rock, and she was sitting in front of me. And I remember I was holding the crystals. I had these crystals in my hand, and I was just sitting there. And then the sound of the river started to become amplified. And my senses became amplified. And I remember I astral projected out of my body. Now, I didn't go into this like, I'm going to astral project, I think some people sometimes think they're astral projecting, but maybe, I don't know if they really are. I really astral projected. I had left my body, and I could see my body, and I could see her. And I was outside of our bodies, and I could see a double helix of what I call divine light entering through the crown of my head. And I saw pure love. Pink. It was pink. It was like a pink cloud, like that you see during a sunset. Pink love just came and wrapped around her and hugged her. It was a very beautiful, divine experience. And then I came back to my body. And she had turned and she said, I felt you. She had felt my energy, And, I realized that this is what we are at that point that we were love, and that everything is love. And even though the love that I shared with this woman didn't last, and it didn't work out, but the experience stayed with me. And I realized that everything is love, created from love, and that God, the divine source, is love. So, especially now, there's a lot of low vibrational energy going around, a lot of fear with things that are happening in the world. But just remember that Ishvara Bodhi is telling you that everything is love. And that love is within you. And always choose love. And pay attention to the energy within yourself. And if you want to connect with somebody like that, you should. Try telepathy and try different things. All these things, some of these things I know are possible, but other abilities are possible too, I'm sure, like levitation, telekinesis. Now, I astral projected without intention, but I'm sure if you have the intention to astral project and you get to a deep enough level of meditation that you can experience astral projection as well. And I know there's probably meditations out there online that can guide people to have a controlled astral projection experience. But, for some people, they may experience that, and you can have these kinds of divine experiences. Now, does it mean if you have a divine experience, now you're enlightened? I don't know. You got to take those experiences, and they can help you grow. I feel like it's a metamorphosis, spiritual metamorphosis, and I'll definitely never forget it. And, I just wanted to tell you about that and tell you to choose love. And thank you for joining me today. Infinite blessings of light and love. Peace.